Good evening, humans. TyrannosaurusMoth here, and tonight we're taking a look at the AEW Unmatched 7 Penta El Zero M figure from Jazwares. The math is simple for me. A Penta figure comes out, I buy it. The question is, where does this fall with the other Jazwares Pentas? Well, let's talk about that. Let's do this. Aesthetically speaking, this figure looks kick-ass, and that's extra impressive considering this is basically a full-on repaint of that original Unrivaled figure we got. And that's down to the head sculpt. So I have that original Unrivaled figure here. But I just want to say, like, first of all, just the color of this gear is great. I love the red, black, and silver. It's just such a cool looking gear for Penta. You know, again, we got the same tattoos, like pretty much same tampos we've seen before. You know, we got the Zero Miedo on the wrist wrap here, and you know, just everything that should be present is present. But the thing I really want to talk about here, especially with that head sculpt, is that this is, as far as I can tell, the same head sculpt we got with that first Unrivaled. And I definitely had an issue with that because it seems flat. It seems, I don't know, it lacks depth. It's just kind of weird. And they totally fixed that here. And I think that is just some much nicer paint. Like, all the application is a lot better here than it was on this first figure, where it's kind of there, and you know, especially because black and white doesn't look like they actually kind of paid attention to details. But especially with that tongue using kind of a more realistic tone. And the big thing, and I'm going to try and see if I can get this across here. So in this first one, I know I've said it just kind of looks kind of muddy. It's just like especially around the tongue, like just it's just a sea of white, and then the tongue kind of comes out of it and looks awkward as hell. For the new one, or the new way they approached it, I didn't realize there is teeth sculpt above the tongue. And because they kind of, you know, there's a black base, and then they actually kind of painted the teeth, it looks just more realistic. It looks better. It doesn't look as clumsy, I guess. And that is fantastic. I think they totally, so clearly this was not a bad head sculpt or just kind of an off head sculpt. It was all in the paint, and that really shows what a you know, kind of attention to detail really does there. So I gotta say, just, yeah, a great figure that honestly saved a head sculpt I didn't realize was as good as it was. Very straightforward with accessories here, and all stuff we've seen before. So you know, right off the bat, we do get a couple of gripping, like sea grip hands, one gloved, one not. Then we get a left fist with the hand wraps and Miedo on the fingers. And then we get the Zero Miedo gesture on the right hand, with Zero tattoos here on the hands as well, as long as it's wraps. And then finally, we get the AEW tag title, which also comes with Ray in this wave. We've seen with the Lucha Brothers a couple of times now. And you know, again, very good sculpt. The silvers and the golds, very, very nice. The touch of silver kind of pops it out. The blue application on this wave is definitely a little more sloppy than it was with the Supremes, which is to be expected considering the price point. But yeah, overall, that is accessories. Articulation, balance here are absolutely on point. And you know, again, we've been seeing this from the beginning of the line pretty much since, I think that first Penta was like second wave. And you know, balance, holding a freestanding kick, absolutely no issue, beautiful. Then getting in the nitty gritty, we are on that ball hinge for the head. We're not going to get a whole ton of up, but we do get some up, obviously because of the mask. We get a decent amount of down, and not really any tilt. We do get some rotation. Come to the ball hinge at the shoulders, and we are getting full-on Ys, absolutely insane. Obviously that rotates all the way around as well. We have bicep swivel. We have double jointed elbows that bring us to there. We have hinge and swivel at the wrists. We have the double ball joint, pardon me, situation. So ball joint in the diaphragm, ball joint in the waist. So we come forward, and not too much on the crunch, unfortunately. That's partly due to the sculpt here on the lower torso. We do get some nice arch back though, and a little bit of side to side. Come down to the hips, full splits, perfectly beautiful. Front kick, full on 90, perfect. We do get thigh swivel, double jointed knees, which are going to be hindered by our knee pads here. we do get boot cut, perfect point, not really any forward due to that boot sculpt, and then some pretty nice rocker. So that's Articulation. Getting into size comparisons, here he is with that first unrivaled Penta as well as the recent Supreme Penta. With some other AEW figures. With some other wrestling lines. With some Hasbro and some Mattel. With some imports. With some monsters. Finally with Articulated Icons, Oni and yours truly in human form as a Valverse Action Force figure. So my final thoughts on the AEW Unmatched 7 Penta El Zero M from Jazwares is that this is a kick-ass figure that's absolutely worth picking up. I mean, I'm definitely biased here. I'm a complete mark for Penta, so take that with a grain of salt. However, you know, especially this being a full-on repaint of that first unrivaled figure, pardon me. I wasn't expecting much once I realized that, but again, seeing how much the paint actually completely changes that head sculpt into something a little more like substantial and, you know, kind of stands on its own, I'm all for it. Honestly, they're all great figures. This one is awesome. I think the Supreme for Penta is probably the best from Jazwares. The boss fight figure is probably the best overall. The boss fight premium is probably the best overall. But I mean, you cannot go wrong here. So again, if you are also a total mark for Penta, I cannot recommend this enough. If you like Penta, if you like Death Triangle, etc., like definitely pick this up. And as of when this review goes up, this might be showing up on pegs in Walmarts or Targets or something. But other than that, online is the only place to get it. And I think Ringside is the only place I've actually seen this wave go up so far. So I'll have a link or maybe two in the description below if you are so interested. So that being said, I hope you found this review informative and somewhat entertaining. If you did, I hope to see you back here. Pardon me, because I do multiple reviews of action figures every week, of action figures related to tokusatsu, dinosaurs, monsters, pro wrestling, and more. So if any of those things are things that you're interested, especially if more than one are, then come on back. Let's talk some more toys. Let's have some more fun. Let's escape the world for a while looking at just some kick-ass figures. And ultimately, I just hope you are well. I hope that all of your toy dreams come true. And most importantly, I hope that you and yours stay weird, simians.